Hey folks, this is Mel once again. Welcome back to another video. And special thanks goes to Daniel, aka DMC from New Zealand, who sent me a couple stuff, and there's actually some more stuff on the way about Thursday or Friday. So I'll definitely do a video showing those off. But thank you once again, Daniel, very kind of you to do so. And he had asked me to do at least some little videos reviews on these. And I thought, hey, it's the least I can do. The stuff he had got me was some of the stuff off my Amazon wish list, so thank you very much for that. And first off, the Blu-ray of The Serpent and the Rainbow, collector's edition from Scream Factory. Now, I had heard some bad things about the features from my good friend Efrey, among others, but I'm a big Wes Craven fan. I still wanted this on Blu-ray because I love the film. It's one of my top 3 favorite Wes Craven films, and I really do miss the guy. He's one of my favorite directors. And Blu-ray wise, I have Shocker, I have The People Under the Stairs, which are also part of my top 3 favorites. Now, this one I have all 3 of them on Blu-ray. I also have the Nightmare on Elm Street films on Blu-ray. I have Scream 1 through 3 on Blu-ray. So pretty much any films on Wes Craven I wanted, I do have on Blu-ray now, thanks to Daniel. I don't have all his films on DVD, like I don't have his Hills of Ice Part 2 or his TV movies like Chiller and such, but maybe one day. Still, it's nice to complete the Blu-ray collection for Wes Craven, thanks to Daniel. And this is the other cover, which is the much better one, the original one sheet. Don't bury me, I'm not dead. This cover really doesn't do much for me. I mean, it's pretty much this bride with a snake coming out of it. I mean, there's a lot more images to the film other than that. Just my opinion. I mean, even Bill Pullman doesn't even get to be on the cover of this. I guess because he's on the cover of this, but like, none of the other actors, it just, to me, it just didn't care for the cover. So I prefer this. I'm not the best guy to talk about picture quality wise. Yeah, I saw an improvement from my DVD. Was a humongous eye-opening improvement? No, but I'm still glad to have the film on Blu-ray because all I had was a cheap DVD. So the thumbs up is for the movie itself, having the great cover from back in the day, also on the disc. There's a nice sort of, not video, but there's a picture of Wes Craven, and it says "In Memoriam," the year he was born to the day he passed away. So they do like a little bit of a tribute, you know, a picture before it starts. That was nice. Again, it's showing a picture, and I like that. Now we get into the ranting part. This collector's edition part of it fucking blows. It fucking sucks, and it's shitty. It's a shitty collector's edition. It has shitty features. It should not be called collector's edition because I think it will definitely disappoint people. And the word of the day, folks, is underwhelming. Underwhelming is the best word to describe this. Not only disappointing, but underwhelming as fuck. The features, you don't get much for features. This is all you get. You get a still gallery, which if you press play, it's 5 minutes tops. You get one trailer, you get one TV spot, and you get 2 more things. You did a 20-some minute featurette where they talk with Bill Pullman, and I'm doing this because you don't see his face, you just hear his voice over footage. And on top of that, it was stuff taken from the commentary, which I'll get to later why I do this. So it's not, so it's pretty much just, they just took bits from the commentary and they plugged it in there. And you don't see Bill Pullman's face, and it's not like he did a commentary and then he's giving out different stuff here. No, they literally just took pieces of the audio and plugged it in there over footage. You have author Wade Davis, because this is based on a book. Wade Davis, he's just in there recording via Skype, it seems like. Almost as if I'm talking here, but you saw a little bit of, I want to say slow-mo, but, or I don't know what you call it. You could tell it was recorded off of Skype video. Pretty much all he does is talks about how Wes Craven's a good guy, seems like a nice guy, and how he wishes the movie was not turned to being sensationalism, to being, quote, a horror film, because the studio wanted that. He wanted the film to be more like The Year of Living Dangerously, and that Peter Weir Mel Gibson was going to do it, then Mel Gibson said no. But yeah, he wanted it to be more of The Year of Living Dangerously, not a, what would become a horror film. Which, I'm sorry, I prefer it this way. I like this film a lot more than The Year of Living Dangerously. I'm sorry. Wade Davis. That's pretty much all he says there. Special effect artists Lance Anderson and David Anderson. It's a father and son. They give out little pieces of info, including how this was supposed to be a little girl, but then they had to turn to an old woman, even though she's very small. They talked with dealing with the snake and how they had to make a cast of the snake in order to make a fake head or put something over the head so when it bites Bill Pullman it doesn't hurt him or poison him, and dealing with that. They don't talk about all the effects. Like, for example, I would love to know, how was that scene done where Bill Pullman's standing, but then this thing comes from behind, and then it's like he's laying down, and then blood fills up the coffin? Well, you don't have to think of that on your own, because it's not answered here. How about all that stuff in the third act? None of that stuff's answered here. And the director of photography, John Lindley, who talks a little bit about how rough it was shooting in Haiti. Temples being burned down, and just how rough it was over Haiti. It's only 20 to 23 minutes long. Now, take that to the fact of some of that is just showing film footage. So, 18 to 15 to 18 minutes. And it's just not much to run home about. And the audio commentary of Bill Pullman. I like the guy they got with, the moderator. I guess he's from Icons of Fright, somewhere of that. I like the questions he was asking. I like that he brings some stuff up that I had heard of. Like, hey, there was a rumor, Bill, that you saw a green cow with like a TV set on its head or something like that. And Bill Pullman doesn't denounce it. He doesn't say, no, that's false. He just goes, oh, that's kind of... I don't know if he said it's personal, but it sounds like maybe something that he had admitted and he got made fun of for. But he doesn't really go in depth on that. Which I'm like, fuck it. It's... How old are you? Who gives a shit? But I like that at least Icons of Fright brought that up. As well as the moderator brought up about how one of the writers had went into some spell, and then he was at home, and then he woke up and realized where he was, and like some of the crazy stuff. But unfortunately, Bill didn't have much to say on that part. He's like, oh, I don't know, they kept that away from us. But I mean, Bill was giving up some decent. That's why I call it a decent for the first 53 minutes. For the first 53 minutes, it's a decent. It's not a great, because it's kind of like he has a little bit of wall behind him. It's kind of like you're pecking at it, but he was still giving up some nice stuff. There were no quiet moments. There were no dead air. Bill Pullman was talking. He seems like a nice guy. He talked about shooting in Haiti. He talked about how this actress, she was nice, but it didn't seem like she really wanted to be an actress, and she didn't believe in the things that were happening in the film. Like, She was just sort of like a skeptic type, while Bill was a bit more open-minded, and how they did see some stuff out there, and it was a crazy experience, and nice things about Wade Davis and Wes, and so it's not it's decent, but it's kind of like let his guard down a little bit more. But the reason I say for the first 53 minutes is because after 53 minutes, which is the scene where Bill Pullman, he's getting tied down naked, and that's where you get the scene where Zacchaeus Mordecai goes, "I want to hear you scream." Bill Pullman has to leave because he's shooting Independence Day 2 like the next day in New Mexico, somewhere around there. Mexico or New Mexico. And then there's nobody on the commentary. Not the moderator. He couldn't finish out by himself. Like, finish out by yourself. Give your own thoughts on the film. Or write down some info and just shoot some info for us to hear. No. I guess they couldn't find another person to talk to. No. Just 53 minutes. And this is like an hour and 40-some minute movie. Boom. Dead air. Nothing. And like a friend of mine pointed out, like, wait a minute. This was pushed back like 2 times. Like, this was going to come out like in October or something. They got pushed back, and they pushed back. They pushed it back to like January or February. And it's like, why the fuck did they push this back? Like, let's really be honest. You look at, and people are like, oh, Will, you're being too harsh. Fuck that. I'm not going to kiss Scream Factory's ass. I'm not going to kiss these guys' ass. I'm sorry. Now, whether you want to blame it on Universal should have got off their stupid ass and done this 5 years ago, whether you want to blame it on just timing and just that's how the luck draws, if you want to just blame it on Scream Factory, or if you want to fucking blame it on the rain, yeah, it still fucking sucks. It's fucking underwhelming, and it's a shitty collector's edition. Shocker. I had little issues, but you know what? Wes Craven was sick at the time, I understand. And you still got Mitch Pileggi, you still got the actress, you still got a good featurette on the music of the film, a commentary where it doesn't just stop 53 minutes, it's just dead air. Hell, bring me in. I'll talk about it for free. I'll read from the Wes Craven book I have. Talk about how one of the releases, I believe in the UK, they had this thing dealing with frauds. Like, they released frauds and they got loose, and I talked about it's in that Wes Craven book I have over there. I talked about when I did the review for the film. And that's why I'm not going to review the film itself. I already did. I'm going to put the link down below to my review for the film, where I do mention that, as well as other stories from the film that's in the Wes Craven book I have. So it was pushed back to get Bill Pullman in it so he can talk for 53 minutes. And we're just getting to the great stuff with Bill Pullman in the movie, to the essential moments of the film. How was it being naked? And, oh yeah, why don't I put a nail by your nuts? What were your thoughts while making the scene? And then also the scene where you're in the coffin and it turns this way and the blood fills it up and you've been buried alive and your final confrontation with the bad guy, which the only thing you get about it is you get the sense that Bill doesn't care for the third act, because how he lights when they were just looking for the powder, but when it became more of a horror film and throwing fisticuffs at a guy, that lost a little bit of stuff, which I love. I love that. So I disagree with Bill on that, but could you elaborate? So I guess they pushed it back so that he could do that. And I'm like, so why couldn't you contact Bill like 2 days before, 3 days before, a week before he had the goal to film a shitty sequel? I know I didn't see it, but everything I heard about it, a shitty sequel that he's barely in it and he fucking dies. Great. To be in the film he's barely in and dies in, I'd rather have him be here talking about the fucking movie. Obviously he'd be willing. He talked a little bit. But, you know, it's an audio commentary, and it's not even... They didn't even warn people either. That's what killed me. They didn't warn people who bought this ahead of time. They don't warn people and go, hey, by the way, it says audio commentary with actor Bill Pullman, but it's only for 53 minutes, and the rest of it's dead air. I've never seen a commentary. I've never seen that. The closest is, there was this movie called Jackal that I rented, and I listened to the commentary, and either the director or someone got pissed off and left because the other guy was making fun of the film too much. That's like the closest I saw seen to this shit. So yeah, I love that I have it because I love the film itself, and I love that it's on Blu-ray. It finishes my Wes Craven Blu-ray collection. Thank you, Daniel. These features suck ass. I'm sorry. Okay, a trailer and a TV spot that I can find on YouTube, photo gallery, that's a big whoop. A little making of, which the Bill Pullman, you just get audio from the commentary, so it's like repeat. Wade Davis just to say, yeah, I made the book, I wish it was more like You're Living Dangerously over Skype. You get the effects, two effects guys, father and son, talking a little bit about stuff, and the DP talking about how rough it was shooting in Haiti. And you get commentary that's only for 53 minutes, and it's nothing after. Nothing. And they didn't warn anybody. So you remember that teaser for the original Alien? You find the original teaser, there's a guy going, a word of warning. A word of warning. What is your word of warning? If you buy this, you don't get lame features. If you want it just for the film itself, okay. That's what I wanted it for, honestly. But if you're looking at it as a collector's edition, it's one of the lamest collector's editions Stream Factory has ever put out. Fucking TerrorVision has more features than this. And it didn't, I don't even know if it called itself a collector's edition. This is pathetic. This is a pathetic collector's edition, and I know they can do better. Chainsaw Massacre 2 Blu-ray was pretty decent. Village of the Damned Blu-ray was pretty damn good. Army of Darkness Blu-ray, not perfect. In the theatrical cut of the film, there's a few seconds missing in one scene, among others, but still a lot of good stuff, including a 90-minute documentary with quite a few people involved. But you know what? Yeah, pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. Village of the Damned Blu-ray, great. I think it's their best one in a long time. Chainsaw Massacre 2, pretty good. How a lot better than this. This is a lame special edition. It's a lame collector's edition. And I love the film. This is not to Daniel. This is not to anyone. This is to Stream Factory. This is about your collector's edition. This is what I think about your special edition Stream Factory. This is what I think about it. Again, this is not to Daniel. I love this Blu-ray. I'm keeping it for the film itself. I'm glad to have it for the Wes Craven because I miss the guy. It completes my Wes Craven. My top three, Shocker, People on the Stairs, and Serpent and the Rainbow. This completes that. Shocker was a better Blu-ray. Even People Under the Stairs. I have problems with People on the Stairs Blu-ray, but it was better than this. It had more than that. This is definitely the weakest, and it's sad because it seemed like the movie with the most interesting stories with all the crazy stuff in Haiti. So yeah. Stream Factory, it's lame. I mean, you couldn't even get Brad Fidel. You couldn't even get Brad Fidel. I mean, Brad Fidel, he did a fucking interview for, what was that movie? I think it's Just Before Dawn. Yeah, I think it's Just Before Dawn. I'm like, you're telling me that he's willing to do a review, I mean, an interview for Just Before Dawn? But not for this movie? Well, I guess I couldn't get anybody else. Hell, if you can't get anybody else like that, get some fucking fans to talk about or something. Well, fucking wait till Bill Pullman is 100% ready. Or something. I mean, this collector's edition is junk. That's what I think about it. Junk. So, honestly, folks, I would just suggest find this on Blu-ray from Universal itself. I don't know if the Universal Blu-ray, I don't know if they release this on Blu-ray by themselves. Well, you know what? I will admit, the first 53 minutes with Bill Pullman, there's some interesting stuff. It's just nice to hear the guy talk about the film. I will admit that. So, I am glad to have this because I was able to hear Bill Pullman talk about the film for the first 50-some minutes. It's just that when it gets really interesting, he has to leave, and it's completely fucking dead air, and then the rest of the features are fucking lame. A trailer, one TV spot, and a little 20-some minute featurette, which is not much to run home about. And this whole thing that cover was a lame cover. I'm sorry. The Shocker one wasn't my favorite, but you know, I deal with it more than this. People on the Stairs, that was decent. Chainsaw Massacre 2 one was beautiful. That was awful. So I'll stick with this. Yeah, but it's one of those things that the reason I'm not more angry is because I was warned ahead of time about it. So I kind of knew what I was going for, but still, it needs to be said. I'm glad that Bill Pullman talked about it for a little bit. I'm glad that there's some stuff on there, but it's not enough to be called a collector's edition. To call this a collector's edition, I think you're kind of fooling people. You put a little bit of wool over people's eyes, or at least tell them ahead of time. By the way, if you're looking for this, it's not much features, but it's the best we can do. The commentary, it's only 53 minutes long, this is dead air. Let me tell you ahead of time before you pre-order or before you order. Think about it, the people who pre-ordered this without knowing, because Stream Factory didn't tell you. I'm going to tell you, because I don't get paid by them. I don't work for them. So I'm going to tell you, beware. Bill Pullman, audio commentary, it's only for the first 53 minutes and it's dead air. And the little 20-minute featurette is nothing much to sneeze at. You get a trailer and tease, but you find on YouTube. I'm sorry, that if you want to call it a collector's edition, that's not enough. I'm sorry. You can be as, well, you gotta be greedy. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you are greedy. Because people are paying $25, $30 for each of these. These are not $10 a piece. They're not $15 a piece. At times, they're not even $20 a piece. Out of the gate, you're selling these for $25, $30. On your website, you will sell these for $25 plus shipping. So $30-some. $30-some to get a Blu-ray where the commentary cuts off at the 53-minute mark. Why didn't you ask Bill Pullman 2 days before, 3 days before, 4 days before, a week before, so he could stay there for the whole fucking time? Then I wouldn't be bitching that much. And sit him down to talk for 15 minutes. Because let's face it, whenever you do these, you're only going to use like 5 minutes of footage at most. So have him sit down for 15 minutes to talk about it. I'm sorry, Bill, you're not that busy. Because you don't actually work that much. Independence Day 2, I bet you're not in every shot or every other shot. I bet you're barely in the fucking movie and then you die. I'd rather have you talk more about this. Sorry. And the feature, again, if you want to blame it on maybe 5 years ago, Universal should have done this where Wes Craven was alive, so he could have done a commentary and an interview. And, you know, Bill Pullman wouldn't be busy making Independence Day 2, so maybe he'd have busy, because he had time to talk about Lake Placid, to sit down on camera to talk about Lake Placid. So he'd be willing to talk about this on camera. But yeah, great movie. Check out my review down below. More thoughts on the movie itself. But a very lame collector's edition, and should have been a lot better. So, great movie, shitty collector's edition. So, thanks for watching. Take care. Later.